of August. I didn't do a forecast discussion this morning. My voice may sound a little hoarse today because I had a EGD on my stomach to look in there and see why my stomach was bothering me so much this morning. So I'm just recovering from that procedure. Not a big deal, but my voice made a little hoarse today. So I just woke up from a nap. So just getting going here. Um, I'm going to start off the video by just talking about showing the surface map here and showing what an incredible air mass change is coming to the south here with this cold front right here, already south of Georgia, pushed off the east coast. Surface trough up here, and I'm going to zoom in just a little bit if I can. There we go. That's a little better. The biggest thing I'm seeing for the continental U.S. in the next several days is an enhanced chance of flooding out here, out west. This tool won't let me draw on here, but I can at least use. I don't know why this won't let me draw on here. It's so irritating. But rain thunderstorms anticipated in these areas. This is 8 a.m. today to 8 a.m. tomorrow, and along the Gulf Coast here with this frontal boundary and off the southeast coast, and where the surface trough is pushing through, and this frontal boundary off the northeast coast here. Rain and thunderstorms possible. But again, biggest threat, in my opinion, in the next 3, 4 days, 5 days, next week or so is the chance for excessive rainfall. And you see the down at the bottom here, which my pointer would work. Hopefully you can see that. Heavy rain, flash flooding possible in these areas. And this is for day one. Move forward. See if it'll let me. Move forward in time here. Apparently it's not wanting to, and it's acting up on me now, the screen. The first time I used this, so I apologize this way. I tested this, but apparently in full screen mode you can't advance it. So going back to full screen. You can see what I'm talking about here. 8 a.m. Tuesday to 8 a.m. Wednesday. Rain in the same areas here. There's a high pressure system that's set up in here, and I'll show you on the satellite loop what I'm talking about. Different, maybe the Denver low sitting up here. Excessive rainfall in Colorado, which that's not going to be a good deal there. Not at all. Hopefully that'll clear up by the time I go out there this weekend. We have a tropical storm Juliet out here in the East Pacific. We have Ferdinand. It's not even on the map. It's out here somewhere, which is really isn't a concern for anybody really. Just for the weather geeks like me who like to watch that stuff. So we move out one more day. You see where the cold front's made it to. Expand it out again. You see what I'm talking about? Cold front's making it all the way into middle Florida here, Central Florida. we still have rain ongoing up here in the middle of the country. So, yeah. So that's the theme of the video today, talking about the flooding that can be occurring on the next several days in the Midwest and in the West in general, and up here in the northern tier and along the Gulf Coast in Florida. And secondary to that is the cool, dry weather that we're going to be getting on the eastern portion of the U.S. And kind of talk about how long that's going to last and what's going to follow after that, or what we're going to get with the northwest flow aloft. Um, Sometimes northwest flow can bring MCS, MCV type things, storms pretty far south. We'll have to take a look at that as well. So here's the visible satellite view of the continental U.S. You see this, you can really make this out up here, this deep low, and a mottled appearance on the satellite here indicates very unstable upper air pattern and very cold air aloft, which is leading to some storms right along this boundary here. And you can see where the frontal boundary is kind of setting up and pushing through here. That's some blue. That's, let me go in blue, cold front. And you have flow around high pressure, which is taking monsoonal moisture, blowing it around, monsoonal moisture, and really ramping up the rain across this central U.S. and Midwest, and even in the Intermountain West and California. Really, this whole area. And when we look at the radar overlaid with this, well, visible radar overlaid, you can see where the most precip and where the front is along the Florida Peninsula here. Right now, ongoing heavy rainfall in a lot of Oklahoma, coming off the front range of the Rockies, going up to the north up here around that high pressure here. If you look at the mid-level water vapor, you can see what I'm talking about. Deep low up here in Canada. See this deep southerly flow here. Really going, I mean, this is incredible going up here this way, this time of year. And it really makes this flow very apparent. Going all the way up here, back down. And where this is interacting, this coming down, we have enhanced rainfall. So if you look at the upper levels, see what I'm talking about here, and low level, whatever you see, really dry air, a good portion of the U.S. with an enhanced rainfall, of course. You're going to see the dark yellows and oranges is really, really dry air. It's like a short wave moving through the flow there. So this is a good representation of what's going on in the atmosphere and infrared. Not a lot of deep cold cloud tops in these areas, but it's probably just front of moisture overriding the frontal boundary creates lift, which is kept from going further northward because of this flow here. You got moisture coming from the Gulf of Mexico, plus around the monsoon is leading to really high moisture values in the atmosphere, which I'll go over next. I want to go over excessive rainfall outlook. Um, After showing you that the water vapor and visible satellite loop showing where the best moisture is, things like that. The VPC has, you see it in the areas in the yellow here, slight risk of excessive rainfall and marginal surrounding it. And what does that mean? I can find it. So, understanding it here, marginal, isolated flash flooding, slight, scattered flash flooding, mainly localized. Then you get into moderate and high, numerous flash flooding events. And we're in the marginals to slight, so mostly isolated events, mainly localized, expected in the next 3 days. As you remember, we got to the moderate, almost high in Texas a while back, and we know what happened there. I don't think that's going to happen here, but given the high terrain and burn scars, I wouldn't rule it out. Localized, really flash flooding events. Anyway, that's that. So that's day one. Day two moves back to the west a little bit. You see what I'm talking about here. And day three back into the Midwest, up in the high plains, the Intermountain West. So this is kind of unusual, really, but given the pattern we're in, I'm not surprised the way it is. So moving to a good representation of the moisture in the atmosphere, okay? So this is the PWAT anomaly in inches. PWAS is just amount of precipitation that can be expected compared to normal in the atmosphere. Are they, how can I explain it? The higher the PWAT value is more moisture in the atmosphere, right? So anomalies in inches is reflected down here. You get into the purples, that's really high above average. Zero is no, not above normal, below. You see where the dark browns are? Below normal moisture in the atmosphere. You see what I'm talking about here out west and right along the east coast starting out this is the European model run. Moving through time here, you see the dry air in the eastern part of the US and this moisture out west just won't let go. The moisture wants to sneak back in briefly in the south, then we get another push of drier air, and this pattern sets up back again, kind of in the kind of it does in the west, and this is 6 days from now. You see here we're gonna, and in Florida too. So this whole area has anomalous moisture in the atmosphere at high levels, which can lead to efficient rainfall production, which can lead to flooding. You'd see here anomalous readings, especially in Texas towards the end of the period, and then northwest here. Is reflected, the moisture in the atmosphere reflected in dew points, right? And so when we look at the National Weather Service blend of models, dew points is just basically what it would take, what the temperature would take to get to, let's say it's 60 out right now, and the dew point is 20, let's just say. That's pretty dry. So if it's 100 out and the dew point is 70, that's humid, really humid. So dew point is the best way to talk about moisture in the atmosphere. And if the temperature equals a dew point, then you have 100% relative humidity. And that doesn't mean it's going to be oppressive outside. If it's 50, the dew point of 50, the 100% relative humidity, and the dew point's 50, then it's going to feel nice, even though it's going to be chilly, and it's going to feel good. So, starting off this model representation of the dew points, you see where the highest ones are, 60s. We all know what 60-degree dew points feel like. Yucky. Feels like you're wearing a rain suit. And dew points want to push a little further south, but surge back. You see what I'm talking about. At night, the dew points are going to go up some when the dew point temperature maybe reaches the temperature reaches the dew point, which is around 60 or so. But if it can reach, um, you know, even 60 degrees in the deep south, it'd be nice. Dew points tend to spike back up here towards the end in the deep south, but they don't move much further northward. Although in the Midwest, we don't really let go of that. Although in the front range of the Rockies, we go back in time here. Almost dew point shift to the east somewhat, but the dry pattern persists over the eastern U.S. for a good part to the really the foreseeable future. What's that look like as far as total rainfall goes? Deeper colors here, you get into the oranges and the browns. It's a total rainfall expected, right? So you move through the time period here. You see where the darker colors are, and the brighter colors really. Green is less. So off the coast here, touching Florida, the Gulf Coast, of course, and the Midwest and the High Plains, Upper Midwest. So there you go. That's basically showing you what everything else has been showing you. So most moisture is going to be here. Although for the deep south, my friends here in Georgia, you know, we all know that this great weather is not going to last forever. So we're going to have some moisture returning, but it's not going to be nearly as bad as out west here. So what's the long range precip outlook look like? Unfortunately, uh, more than pretty good chance of excessive more rainfall than normal for a good portion of the western U.S. along the Gulf Coast. Day 8 through 14, pretty much the same thing. So that pattern is going to persist here, and normal to below normal up to the northeast here. Next, I'm going to talk about talk about the cooler weather in the eastern U.S. and what that's going to look like. All right, so now we're going to discuss the cooler temps in the eastern U.S. and what's driving that. I mean, we all know what's happening here, I think. This is at the mid levels. You can see driving deep northwest flow and along the boundary here with the rainfall that's occurring. But see over time that troughiness wants to really hold on here, and it's reinforced. Um, northerly flow. Some enhancement here of the flow, and I can't help but wonder if we might get some severe weather here in the south as we move through time. And eventually that trough wants to lift out, and then wants to maybe close off a low 144 hours out. Let's look at what is a shorter run. Let's look at the 00Z. Go further out here. Close it off. Wants to develop another trough along the east coast here. Move it out and bring another really big push to the northern tier. Long wave trough to the west this time, with maybe some increased southerly flow way out here. This is the 9th of September. Subtropical high looks to be reasserting itself, but this could bring severe weather. This plays out to the Midwest, Ohio Valley, if that plays out that far out. Um, so, what's the Climate Prediction Center have to say for the 6 to 10 day temperatures? We all have been seeing this graphic. Cool to normal temperature expected for a good portion of the eastern U.S. Along the periphery of this, warmer than normal. Some of this here is driven by rainfall. Here is driven by just dry air. Day 8 to 14 temps. Same thing. Northern tier looks to warm up. Sorry, Texas and the Gulf Coast and Florida don't look to be cooling down, but Florida Panhandle looks like it might get some drier, cooler air, at least for Florida standards anyway. As far as the cool temperatures go, this is the 2 meter above ground level temperature anomaly. The blues represent more anomaly, like further away from normal, on the negative side. Dark reds close, further on the positive side, so hotter than normal, cooler than normal. And the little, you can see the numbers here represent just different individual areas, like reporting stations, stuff like that. So as you go through time, see the dark colors, the dark blues and purples, and over the northwest and into probably up into Alaska. You see how hot it's getting up here. 10, 20 degrees above normal. But a good portion of the eastern U.S. and a good portion of the U.S. in general going to be normal or below normal for, wow, 20, 30 degrees above normal up here. Of course, this changes a little bit between night and daytime, but wow, it's incredible. All the way up into Canada. Man. So this is 144 hours out, which is till the end of the month. That's a week. It's a week from now. Let's see the 12Z model. Let's go to the 00Z. It goes further out. See what it has to say for long term here. I don't like to go this far out, but just gives me a general idea what the models think temperature wise. And like we talked about, troughing is building here in the east, the western U.S. At least, if this comes to pass, this will be really cold there. It's going to be brutal. I'll go over air temps next, and this one should push east over time towards the end of the period. But you see these anomalies here. This will be interesting to see if this comes about. I'm going to go over cloud cover here real quickly. Some National Weather Service blended models, latest run here. Gives an idea. If cloud cover is modulating temps more than anything, see where the cloud cover is the greatest. Moisture. Keep going through time here. Get some high cirrus probably moving through the flow here. Get further out in time. Cloud cover in these areas. And then it kind of gets too far out to really care about too much. Sorry, doing this on the fly here. I'm going to go back and look at the temperatures here. What the models are, the European model is thinking for temperatures. Um, so you can see what's going on here. It's not updating. How about updating your model? All right. Yellows, like only getting into the 80s. You see a good portion of the U.S. at night, especially. Let's go back. 40s for lows. Nice. Even in the Northeast, it's going to be chilly. Chilly. See what the temps are going to look like out here in Colorado when I go out there. Well, doesn't go that far out. But let's go 60. Oops, gonna cooling off a little bit. Um, anyway, you see the general trend here. The temperatures, air temperatures up here. I'm gonna go back so we can go out further here. See what the model thinks the air temps are going to get to in the west as we get further out here. As that cold air spills down on the 50s. Huh. Anyway, see what happens here. It's warming up in the eastern U.S. like we talked about if this trough builds in. And of course, heat builds back in the southwest. I'm going to show just the tropical Atlantic right now. We have Fernand, which is getting sheared apart. Looks like the low-level circulation is moving away from the convection, which will serve to weaken it. It's not really going to hurt anybody. Moisture here, and we have 99L that has really no chance developing now. And we have Ferdinand, of course. Any more updates? Oh, the 99L disappeared off at the 2 p.m. update. It doesn't even have any chance of developing at all now, according to the National Hurricane Center. Ferdinand, as of 11 a.m., 60-mile-per-hour system. See where it's going here. No threat to land. I don't think it's going to impact anybody but fish. So if you know fish out there, give them a call and tell them Ferdinand's on the way. Well, that's it for today, guys. I know this is late, but again, I lucky to get a video out at all today. So hope you have a great day.